Anak, tapos send mo sa akin, ha?
Yes po, thank you.
Yeah. Let me present my slide. Before anything else pala, ang ating quiz next Wednesday, bone marrow tapos ito. Bone marrow tapos ito. Diba? Yung pinag-usapan natin last time na bone marrow tapos ito. Yan ang scope ng ating quiz sa Wednesday. Okay, tapos nakita niyo yung announcement ko. Ayoko nang mahirapan kayo ng mahirapan. Module 7, yung last quiz natin. Nakita niyo yun? Kasi hindi niyo madadigest ang RODAC. Mahirap din ang RODAC. Eh, yung at least yun. Okay, everybody, please pay attention. Okay, we are now on our study on PBS. Saan na ba? Conclusion na to eh. Last slide pala tinapos sila mga bata. Mag-start ako ng first slide. Yan na ba schedule? Nasa kasunod ako.
Mismo para pumunta ka sa first line. Kasi po nandun ka sa presentation mo. Nandito. Ako po muna din.
Hindi ko siya mamumove. Okay. So, pwede ko na mamove.
Eto, ma'am. Dito ka dapat.
Nakikita nyo? Kikita nyo? Miss Sison, nakikita nyo?
Yes po, visible po.
Yeah, thank you. Siyempre. Thank you. Son, record please. Okay, so we go to the examination of peripheral blood smear, also called peripheral blood film. We have 3 steps. The first is specimen collection. In hematology, when we say specimen, we mean either venous blood or capillary blood. Pwede yun. All right, peripheral smear preparation, we'll go through it, the methods, and then the staining, of which we know Romanowski stain is the best. In the Philippines, we are very familiar with Wright stain. Okay, and then examination. Ito ang pinakamahirap sa lahat. Okay, morphological exam. Kasi yung peripheral blood smear, hindi lang pang differential count. Pwede ka dito na magtingin ng mga blood cells. Okay, alam natin sa ating study na normally ang mga young cells saan? Nasa bone marrow. Pag they are ready to perform their role, they will now go to the blood. Okay? So blood smear or blood film. Okay. Significance of PBS. Okay, PBS. Significance of PBS can give us estimates of WBC and platelet counts. Mamaya, we'll go through it. But you never estimate RBC count. We can estimate WBC count and platelet count, but the estimate is not reported. What we report are the actual counts that we made. Either manual, na inaral ninyo, and then automated, na by theory, na pag-usapan natin, at ma-encounter ninyo when you go to clinical lab practice, next SEM. Sa clinical lab, maraming mga automated machine, tuturuan kayo. And then, when you go to internship, kaya konting tiis-tiis lang, mag-aral, para maka-intern tayo ng maayos. Next SEM will be your last semester, academic semester, and you'll go to experiential learning next school year, starting early August, no? Or siguro late July, early August. Pero ano kayo internship nyo July 1 yan. Okay, so specimen collection muna tayo, no? Venous sample collected through venipuncture. If we have a venous sample, it's understood, we know the lavender top EDTA, the best. For morphological exam, we do not like other anticoagulant, especially the oxalates, kasi they have too much artifacts. Okay, advantages of venous sample, okay? Many smears can be done in just a single draw. Immediate preparation of the smear is not necessary. Pag venous sample daw, you can, within 2 hours, we can do the blood film. But if you are on the ward, plus ang routine ng mga laboratory, gagawa ka ng smear kaagad. Kasi pag nakalimutan mo within 4 hours, problema na naman. May artifacts. When we say artifacts, not just the dirt, but the changes on the cells that will happen. Ayaw nating pagsamahin ang blood and anticoagulant pag gagawa ka ng smear. Kaya nga, ang ideal, nasa pasyente ka palang gumawa ka na ng smear. Kasi we are afraid that there might be changes that could happen because of the long stay of the blood with anticoagulant. The least morphological change is done by EDTA. So that routine HEMA, EDTA. Ano, di ba? Sabi natin, special HEMA, heparin, alamin ninyo. And then, coagulation, we will use next SEM, citrate. Alam nyo ang mga mode of action, kasama yan sa final exam ninyo. Kasi mga should know. Even the proportion, you should know. Even the inversion, you should know. Okay. As was mentioned in platelet counts, I gave you the routines. Pinost siya ni Jade, mga routines. Marami akong kunin doon sa finals. Kapag hindi nyo pa naipasa, ewan ko na sa inyo, no? Anong disadvantage ng EDTA blood lavender top? Platelet satelitosis or platelet satellitism? Parehas lang yan. Hindi lahat ng tao na kinuhanan mo ng blood at nilagay sa EDTA will have platelet satelitosis. Only in some patients, they have a peculiar, hindi naman sinasabing pathologic, they have a gamma globulin, they have a peculiar gamma globulin, which in the presence of EDTA, that gamma globulin can induce platelet satellitism. Parang satellites, ayan no. Ito yung Earth, halimbawa, no? Yung board, ito yan, neutrophil yan, ano? Yung border, yung cell membrane ng neutrophil, dumidikit ang mga platelets. We call it platelet satellitosis or platelet satellitism. I repeat, not all people can display this. When you add EDTA, only in some patients who have a peculiar gamma globulin will be induced by EDTA to have platelet satelitosis. Yan. Go to The next, no? Finger and heel collection. Class, pag finger, capillary blood yan, usually sa adults. Pero pag mga bata, heel, sakong, no? The plantar surface of the heel, sabi natin. Oftentimes, we use heparinized blood. Red capillate has heparin para meron tayong capillary blood. We mix by rotation, inversion, and then we can now do smearing. All right, we now go to the types of blood smear preparation. Blood film, pwedeng tawagin, blood smear. Manual muna ito na pag-uusapan natin. Manual, no? We have the most popular, the wedge technique, sometimes called the push method, or the double slide, or the two-slide method. In the two-slide method class, the slide where you place the blood to prepare the smear, yung pinaglagyan mo ng dugo para ma-push mo yung blood, ng spreader slide, ang tawag doon ay stationary slide. Stationary slide. Ang tawag doon sa slide kung saan mo gagawin ang smear. Yung ginamit mo na pang spread ay spreader slide. You can differentiate the spreader slide by having an indentation para may margin sa smear mo. Ito, simple method for making blood films manually ha. Manual pa rin tayo. 2 to 3 mm of blood is placed on one end of the stationary slide. Stationary slide. And then, you will now be ready to do the pushing. Kaya nga push method. You push the spreader slide, pero before pushing, you have to spread the blood at the back, not in front of the spreader slide. Taking note of the angle, which is 30 to 45 degrees. The speed of the movement, deliberate movement, not too fast, not too slow. And then we are concerned with the size of the drop of blood. All right. In these notes, there is class that for high hematocrit, mga polycythemic, lalo yung mga lalaki, no? Mataas ang hematocrit. Reduce the angle. Ano yung range? 30 to 45. Pwede mong bawasan yung angle. Gawin mong 28, 25, 25 daw pwede. To prevent short, thick films. Kasi ang daming cells, ang daming red cells. Pag anemic yung tao, low hematocrit yun, di ba? Mababa yung amount ng cells. You can raise the angle to 45, even to 50 degrees para maganda yung magawa mong smear. Okay. Of a well-made wedge smear. 2/3 or 3/4, wag namang okupahin mo lahat yung slide. The length should be 2/3 to 3/4. The film is, or the smear is finger-shaped, very slightly rounded at the feather edge. Sabi ni Henry, feathery tail. Tail yung huli kasi, no? Yung pinakaman, not bullet shape. This provides the widest area for examination. Mamaya turo ko ano yung mga area. The lateral edges of the film are visible. The film is smooth without irregularity. Hole, ano yung hole? Mga oil. Kailan tayo dapat may hole? Pag bone marrow. Ito blood film, dapat walang hole, walang fat. Usually, may hole kung madumi ang slide. Tapos mga streaks, no? Wala dapat alon-alon. Dapat merong gradual transition from thick to thin. There should be no ridges, waves, and holes. 2/3 to 3/4. It should not extend to the edges. You can, dapat may margin kasi may margin, may indentation ang spreader slide. When the slide is held up to the light, the thin portion should have a rainbow appearance. Later, we shall see the appearance. The whole drop of blood is picked up and spread. Okay, tignan natin muna to. Before we leave this behind, let's look at this. Slide A. Chipped or round edge on the spreader. Okay. Yung spreader slide mo, may rough edge. May baku-bako. Kaya tamo nangyari. Yan. Hindi maganda. Letter B, hesitation in forward motion. Hindi deliberate. Dapat deliberate, sure ang kamay mo pag nag-spread ka. Kaya ang nangyari, para may ridges, para mga alon-alon. Yan. Hesitation, hindi deliberate. Spreader slide push too quickly. Yan, masyadong mabilis. Drop of blood too small. Ano dapat? 2 to 3 millimeters. Wag naman 1, wag naman 5. Okay? Drop of blood not allowed to spread across the width of the slide. Ito class, nagmamadali ka, no? Yung spreader slide mo, di ba? Ito yung dugo, no? Dugo. Dapat sa likod ng spreader slide, spread mo muna. Saka ka mag-smear. Nagmamadali ka, kaya hindi to tama. Dirt or grease on the slide may also be due to elevated lipids in the blood specimens. Usually, madumi ang slide. Hindi hinugasan ng equal part ng ethyl alcohol and ether. Pag kayo natanong, ethyl alcohol and ether, pwede mong i-immerse yung newly purchased slide para walang oil. Atong G, uneven pressure on the spreader slide. No? Time delay, nag-clot na yung dugo, yan na yung clot, saka ka ngayon nag-smear. Hindi dapat yun. So ito yung mga maling appearances. Ang optimum, ganito yan, kaya lang dapat hindi nanginginig yung kamay. Dapat walang chip ang spreader slide. You call this stationary slide. Kung saan mo nagawa yung smear. Yung pang-push mo ang tawag spreader. Okay? Parang sandwich bread. Okay, sana tayo. Tapos na tayo dito. Okay. Alright. Nagawa nyo sa lab yung wedge or push. Be sure you mix the drop of blood. So yung ating mga lab, may mga test tube mixer naman, di ba? Ano yung drop of blood? 2 to 3 millimeters on one end of the stationary slide. Clean. Para masiguro, you can use equal part of ethyl alcohol in ether. Okay. Spreader slide, spreader using 30 to 45. Diba? Degree angle. Control thickness of the smear by changing the angle of spreader slide. Allow the blood film to air dry completely before staining. Pag basa pa, huwag kayong mag-stain kasi mawawash out. Dapat properly dried. Do not blow to air dry kasi magbubutas yung smear mo. Akala mo oil, yung pala, hindi naman, nag-blow ka. Hayaan mo yung air. Other cause of changes, excessive amount of anticoagulant to specimen. Ano sabi natin? Ang talaga napaka-critical na test na apektado na hindi tama or too much anticoagulant is hematocrit. Because cells will shrink. Yan, relate na ninyo. Old blood, long-standing. Ano yung tolerable lang? 4 hours. Venous blood. Pero yung ideal, nasa bedside ka ng pasyente, gawa ka na ng smear, i-label mo ng lead pencil. Warm environment may hasten changes. Kaya nga, class, yung mga laboratory, kaya nga yung mga lab natin, aircon. Mga laboratory. Kasi nga, hindi pwede maapektuhan ng temperature ang mga results natin. Okay. Here is a comparison. When will you be able to produce thick smear? When thin smear. Okay. Pag masyadong konti ang pressure, thick smear yun. Pag sobra naman ang pressure mo, na na-exert ng spreader slide, thin naman yon. Pag sobrang increase ng angle, mga 50 degrees, nako po, thick slide yon, thick smear. Pag napakaano naman ng angle, anong ibig sabihin? Thin smear, napakaliit ng angle. Too much blood, thicker smear. Decrease amount of blood, baka 1 mm lang, very thin. Pag more than 3 naman, mga 4, mga 5, mga 6, napaka-thick, hindi naman tama. Okay? How do you do the speed, spreading, no? Faster, ang bilis mo, thicker smear. Pag napaka-slow mo, thinner smear. So, eto class yung nangyayari. Pag polycythemic, high hematocrit, usually pag mga lalaki, is small mo, liitan mo yung angle, mga 25 degrees, 28 degrees. Pag mga anemic yung pasyente, gawin mo 45, 48 degrees, 50 degrees. High hematocrit, lessen the angle. So meron tayong mga adjustments na ginagawa para tayo makagawa ng magandang smear. Okay. Sinasabi dito na a properly prepared smear, dudugtungan ko, properly stained smear, necessary for correct cellular morphological examination. Napaka-convenient ng wedge or push smear. Ano yung disadvantage? Uneven distribution of cells. Maganda to ihawak, pwede mo email, padala mo sa Amerika, padala mo sa DOH. Kasi ang slide, hindi siya basta-basta nagbe-break. Unlike the cover slip. Dito kasi, ang problema naman, uneven distribution of cell. Matatag nga yung smear, hindi nasisira, yung mga cells naman uneven. So may paraan tayo na para ma-leverage or ma-mitigate ang change ng distribution. So tingnan nyo to class, oh. Nakita niyo yung blood sa likod ng spreader. Ito ang stationary slide, ito yung spreader, ito yung smear, ito yung blood sa likod. Hindi pwede sa harapan na wait for the blood to spread before you do the pushing. Right? Hindi pwede yung blood sa harap. Mali yun. That's wrong technique. Okay? So yan. Ito na pag-usapan na natin, di ba? Hindi ano. Ang ideal dito, ito, pwede retail, gradual tra, okay. Pero ang problema lang, may chip yung kanyang spreader's line. So ito class, ito yung smear. Imaginein mo na maayos to, walang mga chip, walang mga ano yan. Yan, maayos. May baku-baku kasi yung spreader. Kaya nangyari to. Class, let us look at the 3 parts of a smear. A properly prepared smear has 3 parts, wedge or push smear, no? Ito yung body of the smear. Body of the smear. Dahil body of the smear, makapal siya, nagpapatong-patong yung mga red cells at mga cells. Hindi natin pwedeng examinin dito. Yung pangalawa, na konti lang overlapping, halos nagsa side by side, yun ang examination area. Ang mga cells, kitang-kita mo, ang mga size nila maayos, tulad ng nasa libro ang size. Dito maliliit ang cell kasi nagka-crowd. Dito tamang-tama. Dito ka mag-exam, kaya tinawag na examination area. Ito yung tail, feathery edge. Sobrang laki ng mga cell. Bakit? Hindi na nagpatong-patong, malayo sa bawat isa. So body of the smear, examination area, tail or feathery edge. Yan ang 3 parts. Okay? So dapat merong ganong gradual transition. Hindi yung makapal tapos feathery. Mali yun. Mali yun. Okay? So, we go to the next. So, kanina, wedge or push, or two-slide method. Pinaka-popular yon. Kasi easy to handle ang slide. Ano yung drawback? Uneven distribution of cells. Kaya may style ng pagbabasa doon. Mamaya, sabihin ko sa inyo. We go to the two-cover slip method, sometimes called Ehrlich's method. This is an older technique. Ginagamit to sa bone marrow aspirate smears. Remind me next meeting to draw and teach you how to do this. Yung parang star method. Turo ko to. Not practical for routine morphological exam. Convenient to for bone marrow smears. Mahirap i-handle ang cover slip. Madali masira. Hindi mo pwede email. Okay, hindi mo pwede snail mail, ano? But you can be assured that the distribution is very good. Kanina sa wedge or push, hindi maganda ang distribution. Pero hindi nababali ang slide. Ito naman maganda ang distribution, pero hindi naman pwedeng email. Masisira kahit anong ingat mo sa nipis niya. Okay? So we have the cover slip and slide method, Beacon's method. Call my attention next meeting. I will demonstrate to you. So dito yan, halimbawa ito yung drop of blood, tatakpan mo ng cover slip, tapos yung finger mo dito, ipupush mo. Yun ang one slide, one cover glass method or Beacon method. Let's move on to the next. Alright. So yun na yung tatlo na manual technique, di ba? Wedge or push, or the two-slide method. We have the Ehrlich's method, the two-cover slip method. Pangatlo, yung Beacons, slide and cover slip na tatanungin nyo ako next pag nag-meet tayo before the quiz kung paano yun. So ngayon, isinabay sa automation ang paggawa ng smear. Okay. Kasi yung paggawa ng smear, mahirap din. Halimbawa, nangangatog yung kamay natin, pasmado, ninenervyos tayo, palagi na ninenervyos, kaya may mga ganun eh. So, ngayon, meron tayong mga automated slide making. Itong automated slide making, spinner method. Paano ginagawa ang spinner method? Spinner method ganito. Merong ilalagay kang slide, andoon yung drop of blood, tapos papaikutin through centrifugal force. Iikot yung slide hanggang ang nangyari, monolayer. Monolayer. Huwag mong hanapan ng gradual transition from thick to thin. Sa wedge lang yon. Kay manual, kay automated, pag wedge, merong 3 parts. Ano yon? Body of the smear, examination, tail. Ito, monolayer. Sa board exam, tinanong to. Kasi, iniikot ng ikot yung slide hanggang numipis siya. At the more manipis, the more you are able to examine the morphology of the cells. Okay? So yan. So una niyan, span smears. Yan. Span smear. Yung monolayer. Alright. Hindi yan spinner technique. Spinner method. So, dahil span smear, monolayer, ano nangyayari, class? From distribution, what will happen now? Class, you can see is spheroidocyte. Nabanggit ko to in the past. Class, tatandaan niyo mga ganon. Is spheroidocyte. It is a cell that could be seen in span smears. Anong method yun? Yung merong in-spin kang slide, andun yung cell, may monolayer. Makikita mo ang span smear. No? Ang spheroidocytes, makikita mo sa span smear. Ang spheroidocyte is a transition between discocyte or normal red cell and a spherocyte. Walang biconcavity, wala namang bloated, wala namang convex, no? Talagang straight lang siya, parang flat. spheroidocyte yun. You can see them in span smears na ginawa ng hemaspinner. Sa board meron yan. Alright. Distortion, smaller WBC tend to reside at the middle of the feathered edge. Large cells, itong mga to, can be found in the outer limits of this area. So, yung mga malalaking cells sa lateral side. Diba dito? Sabi, dito daw ang mga small cells. Yung mga monocyte, EO, malalaki, mga large lymphocyte, mga leukemic cell, kung meron man dito. Okay? So, nakikita natin, span smears produce the most uniform. Yan, the best ang span smear. Doon natin nakikita ang spheroidocytes din. Meron tayong mga special. So, class automated. Ulitin ko ha, automated. Automated. Hindi na-emphasize dito. Ang automated, dalawang klase. Wedge or push na automated. Perfect ang makikita mo. Lahat ng attributes ng manual technique na wedge or push andon sa automated. Wedge or push. Pangalawa yung span smears. Una, automated wedge or push smear. Pangalawa, span smear. Dalawang automated. Okay? Ito yung dalawang additional type of blood smear. Buffy coat, white cell concentrate, ilagay mo sa Winthrop tube, kunin mo ang plasma, itapon mo, ipipet mo yung Buffy coat, and then i-smear mo. Huwag ka maghanap ng gradual transition from thick to thin ng Buffy coat. Found can be used for, sa board palagi tanong, anong utility nito? Para makapaggawa ka ng differential count in the case of leukopenia. Konting-konti ang cells. Kaya mag-Buffy coat smear ka, mag-white cell concentrate ka. So dito, pag Buffy coat, ito yung Buffy coat, ilagay mo, kuha ka ng wedge, ng spreader slide, i-push mo lang. Huwag ka na maghanap ng perfect. Basta, hindi kulay, hindi yung kulay red. Pwede may tinge of kulay red kasi you cannot do away with red blood cell, no? I-stain mo ng right stain din. Okay? Buffy coat smear. Yan. Saan ito nangyayari? To do differential count in the case of leukemia. Okay? Babasahin nyo ito, mga yan. You can search for lupus erythematosus cells. You can search for leukemic cells. You can search for phagocytosed microorganism in the case of meningitis and pneumonia. No? Okay. Yung isa, aside from Buffy coat, thick blood smear. Yan. Class para gumawa kayo niyan. To recover parasites pag hindi malala ang, halimbawa, malaria. Thick blood smear. Kasi marami yung sample, marami yung chances na ma-recover mo ang malarial parasite through microscopy, no? Pero pag talagang malala na, kahit thin smears lang, pwede mo ma-recover. Kasi malala, madami na sila. At saka sa malaria, meron tayong time of collection, di ba? Time of paroxysm. Nanginginig yung pasyente. May lagnat, doon ka kumuha. Andun lahat sa dugo ang mga malarial parasite, sabi ng para. Pag nag-intern kayo, ang gagawin nyo sa isang slide ng pasyente, may thick, may thin. May thick, may thin. Pasiguro na. Para kung wala kang makita sa thin, doon ka sa thick. Kasi sa thick, malaki ang chance na makarecover ka. Mas malaki yung sample, size ng sample. Sa thin, konti lang ang ginamit mo. Kaya sa laboratory, ang ginagawa natin, thick and thin, ginagawa na yan. Okay. We now go. Nakaprepare ka ng smear, di ba? Meron tayong manual, may automated. Meron tayong special, Buffy coat, tapos yung thick smears, di ba? Nakalagay naman yan. Staining na tayo. Hindi pwede na you did the smear very well, but you will not stain the smear well. I told you never identify or do morphological exam in improperly prepared and improperly stained smear. Okay, staining. Siyempre, Romanowski. Pag Romanowski, di ba, generic term. Ano bang Romanowski? Merong methylene blue and eucine. Recall the principle of staining. Tatanungin ko kayo niyan. Alright, may Grunwald Gemsa can be used. Right stain, commonly used in the Philippines. The manual and automated right staining techniques, okay? Kasi meron tayong staining din na, di ba sa lab, ginawa nyo yung naka-rack method, pwedeng Kupplinger method, pero may automated right staining technique, ang mga automated machine. Ganun na kaganda at ka-efficient ang mga lab. Manual staining time is time-consuming but useful for specific cases. Like Lisman stain, field stain, manual pa rin. Kaya lang sa automated, maramihan talaga, no? Faster turnaround time. So ito yung mga staining method, staining technique, basahin nyo to. Okay. Di ba sa laboratory, nag-stain kayo, nag-rack method kayo, nilagay nyo ang at least 2 smears. Pag OPD ang pasyente, bilin sa amin noon sa JR, dadamihan mo ang smear mo para may backup ka. Kasi pag OPD mahirap, aasa yung pasyente, may result ka na. Pagbalik niya na wash out, kaya nga dapat maayos kayo, aware kayo. Hindi ka pwede mag-stain pag basa, not properly dried ang smear. Kasi mawawash out yon during staining. Alright. Ang ginawa ninyo, di ba, rack method? Kung rack method, nilagay yung smear mo doon. And then, you overflow with stain, right stain. Sabi, may fixative daw dapat. Sa right stain kasi, ang fixative, ando na mismo sa stain. Kasi ang right stain, merong methanol, yun ang fixative, yun ang solvent na rin. Tapos, meron siyang eucine, meron na siyang methylene blue. I-pour mo lang, i-overlay mo lang yung stain. That's it. Mga 1 minute, antayin mo. After that, maglagay ka na ng buffer solution. Okay, buffer solution. Alright? Ang buffer solution ay critical. Sa isang board exam, nagtanong, what gives color to the blood cells? A, stain. B, buffer solution. C, interaction between the stain and the buffer solution. The correct answer is C. Kahit na may stain ka, pag hindi tama ang buffer, walang kulay na mangyayari. The interaction is the one that will do the trick. So, lagay mo ng stain, after 1 minute, overlay. Patungan mo ng buffer solution. Phosphate buffer solution. Sodium phosphate buffer. May formula tayo ng paggawa niyan. Sa laboratory meron, kaya tayo pwedeng gumawa ng ating buffer. Okay, kahit nga stain, kaya natin magtimpla niyan. Plus, ang buffer solution, 6.4 nakalagay dito, no? Pero sa actual practice, 6.4 to 6.8. Approximate ng distilled water ang pH niya. Ang buffer solution, 6.4 at the most 6.8. Sabi ng mga libro, 6.8. Mas okay na yung mataas ang buffer solution. So sa alat sa dapit, 6.4 to 6.8. Yan na. Sinasabi ni na Henry. Pero, halimbawa, magbo-bone marrow smear ka. Sabi ng bone marrow smear natin, Wright's Gemsa. Nakalagay sa Rodax, no? Wright's Gemsa. Nang sinabi ko rin sa inyo, last meeting, Wright's Gemsa. Sila sabi nila, 6.8. Ang ibang libro, sina Henry, 6.2 to 6.8 daw ang buffer solution. 6.2 pag bone marrow. Pero pag malarial parasite, gumagamit ka ng Gemsa, ng Wright's, 7.2 daw. Tandaan nyo lang, mas mataas. May lagnatang malaria, di ba, class? Yan, ganyan ako, hindi ko nakalimutan yan eh. May lagnatang may malaria. Mataas din ang buffer. Yo, di na ako nagkamali mula noon. Nung una kasi, litong-lito tayo. So, gawa tayo ng paraan na maano mo yan. Pag bone marrow, mababa. Sabi ni Henry nga, 6.2 eh, 6.4. Dito 6.8. Pero, basta ang malarial, mataas kaysa sa buffer na yan. Okay? So, let's move on to the next. So, anong ginawa natin? Nilayan sa rock method, naglagay ka ng stain after 1 minute, di ba? O, imagine, yung ginawa ninyo, yung slide, i-flood mo ng stain. O, after 1 minute, dagdagan mo ng buffer solution. Sabi ni na Henry, ito yan eh, buffer solution. Then, sabi pa nga ng ibang librong blow. Ayaw natin kasi may saliva, di ba? So, papaypayan mo ng konti para magkaroon ng mixture ng stain, magkaroon ng interaction ang stain and buffer. Mag-interact. Yun kasi ang magbibigay kulay sa mga cells. Tama? Okay. Magbibigay kulay sa mga cells. Alright? And, mga 4 minutes yan, mga 5 minutes. Makikita mo yung parang E. coli, greenish metallic sheen. Greenish metallic scum sa ibabaw. Pag meron kang ganun, anong mangyayari? I-wash mo na. Ibig sabihin, nag-interact na yung stain and buffer. Nag-interact na yung stain and buffer. Tama? So, ginawa yan ninyo sa lab? Rock method yun, yung nakatihaya yung mga slide. Pero meron tayong mga method na naka-coupling jar. Coupling jar. Paka-stain mo, saka mo ibabuffer. Okay? So, eosine plus methylene blue, thiazine eosinate complex. Ito ang product ng, yan kasi magkasama sila sa slide. Uso na ngayon yung magkasama na sila. Eto na. In the past, may mga method na fixative, methyl alcohol. Next coupling jar, eosine. Pangatlo, methylene blue. Masyadong hindi ka na makagawa ng ibang gawa. So ngayon, nag-invent sila na magkasama na yung eosine and methylene blue. I told you, don't forget the principle of staining. So, yan. Let's move on to, alright, automated slide stainer. Meron na pati yung staining in-automate na. 5 to 10 minutes, ilang smear yan. Ang ibang machine, 50, ang iba 100, depende sa machine. Yung machine ang gumagawa, no? Kaya yung timing tama. Anong disadvantage nito? Hindi ka pwedeng humirit. Ay, may stat ako. Pwede bang isingit tong isang to? Hindi. Kasi pag nag-go na yan, tuloy-tuloy na yan. Antayin mo ang next batch. Or you run the stat all alone. Ito, aqueous solutions of stains are stable stable for 3 to 6 hours lang. 3 to 6 hours. The term is 3 to 6 hours ang stability. Kung sanabi, aqueous solutions, water-based. Ang ating methanol is alcohol-based. Okay? Kasi ang fixative yung methanol. Yun din ang solvent. Doon na nakalahok yung eosine and methylene blue. Okay. Well stain. Okay, so makikita mo, no? Nakapag-stain ka na, nagawa nyo sa lab ito. Macroscopically, mata mo ang tumingin. Tingnan mo, reddish brown. Reddish brown yung smear mo. Or pinkish. O, go on ka na. Mag-microscopic ka na. Pero before mo makita to, tingnan mo muna yung sabing good stain. Kasi sa Staininger, sila Henry, sinasabing good stain. Microscope, tingnan mo na oil immersion field. 1,000 times, di ba? Minimum precipitate, no artifacts kang nakikita. Ang RBC daw, dahil acidophilic siya, bakit siya acidophilic? Halos hemoglobin ang laman niya. Ang hemoglobin basic. Ano yung lab niya? Acid. Kaya acidophilic siya. Kaya pinkish or peach ang kanyang appearance, ang kanyang kulay. The nuclei of leukocytes purple. Eosinophilic granules red-orange. Yung neutrophilic granules lilac. Basophilic granule dark purple. Platelets dark lilac. Sa neutrophil lilac lang. Monocytes gray ground glass appearance of cytoplasm. Ano yung kanyang nucleus? Purple. Okay, yung neutrophil, purple. Itong monocyte may ground glass appearance. Parang malabo ang kanyang cytoplasm. Kung sa bintana, salamin ng bintana, malabo. Parang ground glass appearance. Meron kasi itong meron itong mga dust. Walang granule to. Sino may granule? Neutro, eo, baso. Yung mono, walang granule. Ano meron siya? Dust. Azurophilic dust. Okay, so, halimbawa, may nakita ka ng mga nagdi-deviate. May nakita ka na, halimbawa, prominent neutrophil, alkaline stain yun. Two red cells, acid stain yun. Pag nag-deviate dito, something is wrong. Okay, so we go to the deviations on staining. Two acid stain. Ang tawag ni na Henry dito, red stain or acid stain. Ano yung good stain? Yung normal, yung kanina. Yan ang normal. Well stained. Yan. Pag halimbawang hindi ito na-follow, alright, nangyari, acid stain. Ano ang causes? Pulang-pula yung red cell. Pulang-pula yung eosinophil granule. Halos puro pula ang cytoplasm. Pwedeng smear mo too thin. Konting-konti yung dugo mo. O napakabilis ng smearing, spreading mo. Ang igse ng staining time mo, wala pa nga ng greenish metallic sheen, tinanggal mo na, nag-wash ka na. O napaka-prolong ng buffering or washing mo. Or gumamit ka ng old stain. Ibig sabihin, ng stain, hindi ka nag-filter, may mga, pwede may artifacts na, old stain. Kaya naging formic acid na, hindi na tama, hindi na methanol, formic acid na. Sabi ni na Henry, how do you correct? Lengthen the staining time. Check stain and pH buffer. Ano dapat ang buffer nila? Within the range of 6.4 to 6.8. 6.8, sabi ng ibang literature, mas okay daw. Pero pag malaria, more than 7. Pag bone marrow, 6.4 or even less than 6.4, as was emphasized a while ago. Shorten buffering or washing time. Ito ang solusyon mo. Kaya meron ka dapat na smear na backup. Paano pag 2 alkaline stain? Lahat na lang blue. Ang red cell blue. Blue na lang lahat. Wala kang makitang red granules. Parang violet na yung eosinophil. Anong cause? Too thick blood smear. Too much prolonged. Too prolonged staining. Hindi ka nag-wash. Nagtipid ka sa tubig. Joke lang. Alkaline pH of the stain. Ano dapat? Buffer and stain dapat ano? 6.4 to 6.8. Baka 7.0, 7.5, hindi mo chinek. Kaya ngayon ang pangit ng stain mo. Alkaline stain. Check pH. Shorten staining time. Prolong buffering time. Yan ang mga solution daw. Okay. So always go back to the good stain. Diba? Well-stained smear. May mga counting method. Crenellation, longitudinal. Ito daw yung battlement method. Battlement. Okay. Pag battlement, ito diba yung body of the smear. Patong-patong, huwag ka mag-examine dyan. Examination area, yan. Ito yung feather edge. Sabi yung battlement method daw, start ka dito or pwedeng sa taas. Basta sa thin part ka, no? Malapit sa examination area. Yan, battlement method. Kung naka-10 microscopic fields ka daw, at least. Pag nadi-differential count ka, pwede mong gawin to. Naman, yung longitudinal or crenellation. Crenellation, ayan. Pa-side. Ayan. Inaaral namin nun, yung mga exaggerated battlement. I-divide mo ng 4 to, examination area. 4. Doon ka 25 dito, 25 ditong mga WBC, 25, total 100. Halimbawa dito, 8 ang neutro, 10 ang neutro, di-add mo na lang lahat yan. Hanggang naka 100 cells ka, report in percentage, and then, halimbawa, 80% ang neutrophil times 0.01. Ilan yun? 0.8. 0.80. Yan ang neutrophil type fraction. Walang unit pag SI ang differential count. Yung mga nakaraan, may percentage. Pero pag SI, walang percentage. Kasi fraction. Like hematocrit, pwedeng walang unit ang hematocrit. Fraction. Erythrocyte volume fraction. Baka sabihin na, hindi, nag-ano na naman. Kino-compare ko kasi. Fraction. Walang unit. Okay. Pwedeng per liter, yung hematocrit. Pwedeng liter per liter. So pag fraction, walang unit, pwede. Differential count. Okay. White blood cells. Check for even distribution. Estimate the number present. May granules ba? Morphology. Malalaki ba? Maliliit? Perform differential count. Platelets. Estimate number present. Examine for morphologic abnormality. Malalaki ba? Wala bang granule? Maliliit ba? Yon. Ito pwede mo ma-estimate. Meron tayong estimate pwede. But repeat, you cannot report estimated counts. What you can report are actual counts that you made, either manual or automated. Red blood cells. You do not estimate red blood cells. They're in millions. Tell me to teach you about the count. Kung meron kayong hirap sa pag-convert, tell me next meeting. Kung ano man yung na-encounter nyo sa lab, I will teach you and clear matters with you. Alright, size and shape, normocyte ba, discocyte ba, 1/3 central pallor ba, para masami mong normochromic, may inclusions ba, Howell-Jolly, Haynes bodies, may mga Cabot rings ba, may relu formation ba, pag may relu formation, parami nito, 2/3 nito may relu, pero merong hypergamma-globulinemia. Diba? Relu, like stacks of coins. Pag auto-agglutination, anong cause? Cold agglutinin. Tandaan nyo. Bibigay ko yan sa inyo kasi sa board exam palaging yan ganyan. Alright. Observation under, rinanap ko kanina, low power field times 10. Yung ocular 10, yung low power field objective 10, 10 times 10, 100x, diba? Yun ang total magnification ng low power field. Check for the good counting areas. Check WB distribution. Check the slide is properly stained. Kung good stain, di ba? Ang red cell ba, pink or peach? Check for the presence of large platelets. May mga clumps ba? May fibrin strands. Ibig sabihin, clotted blood. O may mga fibrin. Right. Alright, sa high power field, 10 times 40 equals 400x, di ba? High power field, usually. You estimate the WBC. No oil application, natural, kasi high power field lang to. Choose a portion of the smear where there is only slight overlapping. Count 10 fields. Okay, count high power 10. Halimbawa, average mo 20. Among the 10, 18, may 25, may 20. Yung average yung 10, halimbawa 20. Multiply that with 2,000. O, ilan yon? 2,000 times 20, ilan yon? 40,000, right? Can you report 40,000? Kung tama man yung 40,000 ko, na mahina ako sa music eh, no? So, halimbawa 40,000, 20 times 2,000. Tell me, tama ba? Kasi baka mamaya sabihin niyo na ano, 20 times 2,000. 40,000 nga. So, can you report that? Never. Pag nagbilang ka, watch out, dapat malapit doon ang bilang mo. At yung actual count yun ang ibibilangin mo. Okay? Platelet estimate. Dito, high power field. Sa platelet, oil immersion field. 10 yung ocular times 100 because 1,000 times yung platelet estimate sa oil immersion field. Estimate, look at 10 fields. Take the average of the 10, multiply by 20,000. Note macroplatelets or giant platelets. Evaluate RBC. Are they properly stained? Are they normochromic, hypochromic? Yung ganon. Titinan mo, yung mga napag-aralan natin noong pa sa erythrocytes. Buti nga, tapos na tayo dun eh, kasi review na lang. Alright. One of the most difficult to do is WBC differential count. Pag kayo tinanong, yan ang pinakamahirap. Bakit? Kaya nga in-automate na yan eh. Ang hirap mag-identify. Kasi you should not identify on not properly prepared smear and not properly stained smear. Choose the best area for assessment. Ano yon? Di ba ito yung examination, body of the smear, makapal. Examination area. Tail. Dapat hindi bullet na ganito. Dapat feather edge. Okay? Yan. Pwede longitudinal. Okay? Tapos meron tayo pa differential counter, di ba? Tak, 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 tak. Titigil hanggang naka-reach tayo ng 100. Pero word of caution, sabi natin, may mga ospital na may protocol sila. Halimbawa, 50,000 ang WBC count. May leukocytosis, dagdagan mo ang differential count mo. Halimbawa, wala kang makita. Hindi ka naman nagawa ng Buffy coat. Bawasan mo ang ano mas accurate. Palagi class, palagi. Kaya nga ang taas ng quiz ko, di ba? The more is the questions, the more accurate is my assessment. So ito, the more is the number of cells counted. The more accurate is the differential count. Ganun yan, class, ha? Yan. Push down counter, yan. Dito daw, gagawa ka daw ng 200 WBC differential pag over 10% AO, over 2% base. So, kasi nga 0% nga ang base, so over 11 yan. There are more lymphocyte than monocyte. Talaga. Except in children. Okay. Alright. Alam natin to yung formula. Mali ito. 5 or more. Sorry. 5 or more. Sabihin na Henry. 5 or more, do correction. What will you report? Not the actual, but the corrected one, which we already talk about. This is class the grading scale for red cell morphology. Pag merong changes sa size, anong tawag doon? Anisocytosis. Palagi namang may normocyte, pero may mga tao na marami ang microcytes or marami ang macrocytes or megalocytes. Saan ito mabubuking? Sa RDW. Ano normal ang RDW? 11.6 to 14.6%. Yun lang dapat mag-deviate. Pag more than 14.6, anisocytosis. Okay. How do we now get the grading? How do we do the percentage? Normal pa yung anisocytosis or poikilocytosis. Start tayo sa aniso. Ano to? Variation in size. So, microcyte, macrocyte, normocyte. Ano yung normocyte? 80 to 100 femtoliter or 6 to 8 micrometers pag manual, pag mata. Pero pag machine, 80 to 100 femtoliters. Yun dapat ang volume or size, di ba? Kasi yung volume size ng red cell. O, 1% lang, okay. Normal daw yung pasyente. 5% ang variation. Slight, 5 to 10. Plus 1 na. 10 to 25% nag-vary. Plus 2, 25 to 50. Plus 3, 50 to 75. Plus 4, more than 75. Alright, sample situations. Plus 2 ang microsites. 25 to 50%. So may microcytosis, no? Plus 2. Meron ding macrocytes. Plus 1. Mas namamayagpag yung yung microcytes. Ilang porsyento ang aniso? I-add mo yung dalawa. Alright? Merong few cystocytes or schizocytes, yung mga fragmentocytes, no? Burr cell, echinocytes, alam niyo na to. Matagal na pinag-usapan natin to, paulit-ulit. Halimbawa, may plus 1 target cells, plus 1, plus 2, poikilocytosis. Plus 2. Kasi may few na cysto, may few na burr. Plus 1 target. May konting-konti. So plus 2 ang poikilocytosis. How about hypochromia grading? Ano ba yung normochromia? Normochromia or normochromasia pag 1/3 central pallor. Okay? Kaya lang sabing plus 1. Hypochromic yung pasyente. Ang laki, 1/2 of the central diameter ay maputla. Dapat 1/3. Mas maliit ang 1/3 kaysa 1/2. Halimbawa, ang 2/3 na ay maputla. Super hypochromic. 3/4 na, plus 3. O plus 4. Annulocytes, parang singsing. Wala nang kulay yung loob. Annulocytes ang tawag doon. Annulus, plus 4. Okay, polychromasia grading. Ito class ang polychromatophilic. Anong cell ang polychromatophilic na normal sa blood? Reticulocyte. Polychromatophilic erythrocyte. Reticulo ang pinag-uusapan dito. Pag 1, kasi ang normal reticulocyte, di ba? 0.5 to 1, 1.5, yan. Plus 1, mga 3% na ang reticulocytes. Plus 2, 5%. Pag bata, okay lang ang 5%. Pag matanda na, it's a no-no. Ibig sabihin, merong response ang bone marrow. Tumataas ang EPO. Merong mga stress reticulocytes, stress. Malaki, stress retics or shift retics. Plus 3, 10%. Plus 4, more than 11%. Reminders. Do not count cells that are disintegrating. Eosinophil na hindi mo na-identify, huwag ka mag-report. SMAD cells, basket cells, ipa-verify mo sa pathologist kasi baka ito ang eureka ng clinician. Hindi niya iniisip na may chronic lymphocytic leukemia, nireport mo to, maraming ganito, iisipin ng clinician, ng oncologist, ay teka, ipapatest ko nga for CLL, ipapacytochemistry ko, ipapamolecular bio ko, yan ang ating turf sa next sem, yung mga ganyan. SMAD cells are deformed or disintegrated lymphocyte. Basket cells are deformed neutrophil. Ipa-verify mo lang. Ipa-verify mo sa pathologist or sa senior medtech. Huwag ka mag-report na hindi pa na bine-verify. Okay, look at the SMAD cell. Pwedeng ito, ang cause nito, kaya siya nag-fragment dahil too much pressure. Pero pag marami sila, ibig sabihin, may mga abnormal lymphocyte, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Yan, CLL. Hyperchromic, dapat 1/3 ang central pallor. Right? Macro, ito is spherocyte yan. walang central pallor. So ito yung high power field, ito yung oil immersion field. Ito, small lymphocyte, small lymphocyte. Tingnan mo kasi kung may SMAD cells ka, tapos marami kang mga ganyang lymphocyte, this might be a case of CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. You can go to cytochemistry, you can go to molecular technology to look at the mutations or any other changes that happen in the cells of the patient to establish diagnosis. Okay, thin area. Spherocytes which are really is okay. Pag nasa thin area ka, pwedeng spheroidocytes lang yon. At dahil thin ka nga, tingin mo spherocytes. Pumunta ka sa examination area. Pag meron paring spherocytes, bilog na bilog, walang central pallor, true spherocyte yun. Pero pag doon ka lang sa napakanipis, spheroidocytes yun. Lalo na pag span smears lang ang tiningnan mo. Thick area, relief formation, like stacks of coins. You will conclude na merong relief formation pag 2/3 of RBC stick together. Di ba? Pag may relief formation, high gamma globulin. Mataas din ang ESR. Di ba? Pag autoagglutination, anong cause? Cold agglutinin. Cold agglutinin. Sa ating automated, kailangan i-warm ang sample para walang error. Tama? Tingnan mo to, ganyan. I-correlate mo na. Kaya pala, ang baba ng MCV ay ang taas ng MCV. Ang baba ng RBC count, ang taas ng MCHC. Meron palang autoagglutination. Nasa notes nyo yan. Alright? Before reporting, lalo yung blasts, leukemic cells, mga blast. May yellow-blast, lymphoblast. You might ask me, ma'am, bakit sabi mo may blast sa bone marrow? Yes, may mga blast sa bone marrow. Pero sa bone marrow lang at may bilang. Pag nasa dugo na, kaya nga peripheral blood smear makita mo ang blast, leukemia yun. Hindi dapat nasa dugo, nasa bone marrow lang. Ang mga young cell. Di ba sabi natin? The rule of thumb, normal, sa bone marrow ang young, ang mga mature sa blood. Pag yung mga young nasa blood na, something is wrong. Uncontrolled proliferation. Kaya nasa blood na yung mga yan. Never hesitate to ask question. Alright, this is daw the findings, conditions with physician, review of the blood smear may be medically indicated. Yan. Abnormal cells, mga blast. Pag may duda ka, ask the physician, ask the pathologist. Ang physician na sinasabi dito, plus pathologist. Kasi, an ordinary physician, baka mas magaling pa kayo mag-identify. Pathologist, lalo na yung hematopathologist. Ang galing yan sa mga blast. Pero, kahit na magaling niya sa mga blast, hindi pa rin siya nagtitiwala sa mga blast na yan. Bakit? Pare-pareha silang medium-sized lymphocyte. Sa board may tanong yan. They look like medium-sized lymphocyte. Kaya they have to undergo cytochemistry. Kasi itsura parehas, yung sabi ko sa inyo, pero yung laman na enzyme iba. Example, peroxidase. Positive, meron ang neutro and mono, wala ang lympho. Pero ang lymphoblast at myeloblast, monoblast, parehas itsura. Kasi pag bata pa, blasts malalaki. Diba? Tandaan niyo yung mga hematopoiesis natin. Abnormal red cell morphology, ayan. Dysplastic cell. Mali ang development. Ano yung Pelger-Huet anomaly? Hereditary hyposegmentation. Kailan merong giant platelets? Example, yung May-Heglin anomaly. Yung smallest platelet, sa board tinatanong, Wiskott-Aldrich. At nadaanan natin yan. Inclusion in red cell. Hemoglobin C. Hemoglobin C crystal, hexagonal plate crystal. Sa board palagi yan. Kasi closely resembling hemoglobin S. Are they both cycling hemoglobin? Yes. Are they both in the black race? Yes. Hemoglobin S, hemoglobin C. But board exam will ask, what is the most prevalent in the world? Anong klaseng hemoglobinopathy ang pinaka-prevalent sa mundo? Ang sagot, hemoglobin S. Pag homozygous, hemoglobin disease, hemoglobin SS. Pag hemoglobin SA, hetero, trait. Pero pag ang tanong, what is the most prevalent hemoglobinopathy in the world? Ang sagot, hemoglobin S. Black race, yes. Cycling hemoglobin, yes. Tulad ng hemoglobin C, black race din. Ang hemoglobin C will have hexagonal shaped crystals. Yan. Nakalagay yan sa notes niyo, balikan nyo ninyo. Our rods, you can see them. Ayoko nang anuhin kayo, yung mga yan. Pancytopenia. Oh, yan, you can have it when you have PNH. We will discuss this when we go to our Module 7. Class, ang ating last quiz, yung Module 7, ang pagtuunan na lang ninyo. Doon na lang ako mag-explain. Kasi pag ang haba pa ng RODAC, hindi nyo pa kayang intindihin. Doon tayo sa Module 7. At nakita na ba ninyo ang aking Jade? Nakita ba ninyo yung post-task ko? Nakita ninyo?
Yes po, Dean.
Okay. Yan. Madami lang talagang hima, class. Alright? So, updates on peripheral blood smear studies. So, ngayon, nag-advance tayo ng technology. So, ngayon, marami na tayong ginagawang method. Alright, isolation and two-step classification of normal white blood cells in PBS. The isolation algorithm was applied to mga researchers ito, 1938, and it was found out that 1804 of them were accurately isolated. First step of a two-step classification process. So yan. So dito, ang unang gagawin mo, dito, segmented ba or non-segmented? Pag non-segmented, bata pa. Tulad ng band cell, metamyelocyte, myelocyte. Non-segmented yun. Pag segmenter na, mature na yon. Yan yung mga neutrophil mo, PMN mo, yan ang mga segmented. May 2 or more lobes segmented. Ano nga ang nagdudugtong sa mga lobes? Ang tawag doon, filament. Ano ang chemical nature? DNA. Yung parang sinulid na nagdudugtong sa mga lobes. Second step is to define a set of features using the information from the cytoplasm and nuclear regions to classify WBC using ayan. So they will use linear discriminant analysis. And the result of that study. System evaluation is performed using a 10-fold cross-validation technique. Statistics to. Confusion matrix of the classifier is presented to evaluate the accuracy for each type. Okay, so nakalagay, pina-factor in yung classifier, ilang factor ba ang nakapag-contribute dun sa maling result dahil lito, hindi aware, hindi alam ng medtech mag-classify, hindi niya alam mag-identify. Okay? Experiments show that the two-step classification, ano yon? Segmenter, non-segmenter, implemented, achieves a 93.3 overall accuracy. Okay? Pag magaling ka mag-identify ng segmenter, non-segmenter, alam mo na ngayon mag-identify ng 5 subtype classification. Ano to? Pag sinabing 5 subtype, di ba? Ano yon? Yung neutrophil, eyo, baso, mono, lympho. Kasi yung stub, non-segmenter yon. So, ganon ang pag-eliminate, no? Diagnostic and screening utility of various test methods for malaria. So, dito, quantitative Buffy coat. Doon sa Buffy coat daw, in-examine, ginamit ang immunochromatography. Sa immunochromatography, hinahanap mo ang ang class, ang immunoglobulin produced by the body against malaria. And then you apply chromatography. It means you have two phases, mobile phase, stationary phase, sabi ng CC1 ninyo, and even ELISA. You will know more of this when you go next sem to your laboratory on immunology, no? ELISA. Okay, methods down dito. Blood from 200 clinically suspected malarial patients were subjected to ayun, nag-blood smear ka. Tiningnan mo ng mata mo. Gumawa ka rin ng Buffy coat. Tapos, immunochromatography and enzyme immunosorbent assay. The sensitivity and specificity were analyzed. Sensitivity, ano yon? The ability of a test to ito bang peripheral blood smear, ginamit mo mata mo, Buffy coat ba, immunochromatography, ELISA, immunosorbent assay, ELISA, sensitivity. Alin ba dito ang nag-positive? Pag konting-konti pa lang yung sakit ng pasyente. Pag specificity naman, alin naman dito sa apat na to ang nag-positive kung meron talagang malaria ang pasyente. Diba? True, positive. Okay. The duration, equipment, expertise, electricity, and economy needed were considered. Conclusion. Yan. Sa mga studies na yon, di ba? Peripheral blood smear, Buffy coat, immunochromatography, ELISA, ano ang pinaka-best? The gold standard or the reference is the peripheral blood smear. Ibig sabihin, yung mga laboratoryan, yung mga medtechs, maalam mag-identify ng mga malarial parasite. Ano yon? Schizon? Mga gametocyte ba yan? Yan. Ganon. Diba? Na-find out sa study na yon. Quantitative Buffy coat is the most suitable rapid test. Okay. Pag halimbawang well-equipped laboratory ka, sa blood bank ka, nag-identify ka bago yung donor, tingnan mo kung may malaria, pwede ka na magawa ng quantitative Buffy coat. Kasi mas predictive din kasi you are searching quantity Buffy coat, white cell concentrate, kung meron mang malaria doon, nakasama na doon sa Buffy coat. Okay. Immunochromatography and ELISA are suitable for population screening in endemic areas and anti-malarial monitoring. Okay, explain ko itong population screening. Sa CPH, pinag-usapan natin yan. Population screening. Let us be realistic. The island of Palawan is really heavy on malarial parasitism. Diba? So, government can do population screening. Ilang porsyento ba ng mga population sa Palawan ang merong malaria? Kasi nga, endemic ang Palawan for malaria. When we say endemic, throughout the year, marami ang incident ng malaria. Pag pandemic, hindi. Lumobo lang, sporadic. Like yung COVID, di ba? Pandemic yon. Pag endemic, halimbawa, sa Palawan, talagang marami ang malaria palagi throughout the year. Halimbawa, Samar Leyte, sabi ng parasitology nyo, marami ang schistosomiasis. Di ba? Microfilaria worm, di ba? Schistosomiasis, mga elephantiasis, di ba? Schistosomiasis, mga ganyan-ganyan, yan, mga ganyan, marami sila doon. So, dito, halimbawa sa Palawan, no, ilang porsyento ba ang merong malaria? Diba? Alam nyo ang life cycle ng malaria. So when you do population screening, you will just choose immunochromatography and ELISA. Kasi itong mga method na to meant for mass screening. Maramihan. Pero pag gusto mo mag-screen for donors, yan, Buffy coat. Pero ang pinaka-best pa rin talaga ay yung gagawa ka ng thin or tick smear na examinin mo. May malarial parasite ba? Kasi sa study, bihasa ang medtech mag-identify ng mga malarial parasite. Okay, so I repeat class, our quiz for next meeting is what? Bone marrow and this. bone marrow in this. I like you to master the PowerPoints, but please also read the summary or the chapter in RODAC. But most of my questions, summarize na to, hindi na kukuha. Okay? At inuulit ko, ang last quiz natin, Module 7 lang. Pero of course, I can ask you background information because we are already done with the mga hematopoiesis, mga EPO, yung mga yan. Yung effect noon. Tatandaan nyo lang, kung sinabi natin, immune, merong antibody involved. Explain ko yan, mga antibody testing, para maintindihan nyo. So with that class, I bid you goodbye. I'll see you on Wednesday for our quiz 8. Bye! Thank you! Bye! See you! Gutom na kayo! Bye!
Thank you po, Dean.
Kami nasa bahay kayo, kami nasa school. Ni-require kami ni President na mag-onsite. Wala naman kami mga batang kausap. Nakaka-board din pala pag wala kayo, no? Nabobora ko pag walang bata. Ang tahimik. Bye! See you on Wednesday. Ay, sino nag-record? Miss Season? Padala mo, anak, i-post mo anak sa, sa discussion board. Miss
Yes.
Season?
Yes po, Dean. Pag-post
Ay,
ko na.
Miss Season, paki-post mo anak para makita nung klase ko rin bukas. Bye-bye! Bye! See you!